So I might read text by 11 o'clock tonight. You might wanna call them. Oh, tonight.
Mitty, I've taken over your seat, I'm sorry.
You are in time now.
I guess so. How are you?
I'm good. Like, nobody wanna come with us.
Over here to the dark
Hey,
side.
after the election, it's like, I ain't coming. Take the day off. It's a short one. If they come on, we can get in and out.
Here? Oh, wow. I was like, come join the meeting. But no.
Yeah, I left my one phone home. The one
Yeah.
that you can't turn off. Even when you got
It has a
airplane
mind of its
mode.
own.
Yeah, I was like, oh, you
They
can't
still
go.
have election
You
stuff.
gotta stay home. I'm surprised to see that stuff still here.
Today's what? That was just yesterday, I guess. But usually they come within
Yeah, that's-
24 or
that's
48
what
hours.
they
Yeah.
They don't care. It's over. That's all that matters. You might have to call them. I wonder if these ballots even got counted.
Yeah, they're real good about that. They have
You
to.
think they took them out of there?
Yeah,
I
they.
thought they were supposed to take the machine and get them out down there.
I don't know.
In Boca, they had a machine that you put it in, like, and that machine counted it. But I
Right.
don't know if that's what we had
What, that's
here.
what you guys had, yeah.
Because it was like remember the Scantrons in school? It was like a giant Scantron reader, and it didn't show your vote, but it read it when you put it in. So
Did you guys have electronic ones, or did you have to draw the circles, or
we had to draw the circles,
Yeah.
but then you like submit it, and it was kind of funny because it's very similar to what we were just talking about. I think the technology is new to a lot of people there,
Right.
so they stand there and they wait until someone comes over and tells them
To
how to do
help
it,
them,
and I'm like,
yeah.
you just put it in, like you're good.
I'm just saying, so, good Lord, every channel you turn.
Yeah, the TV's
Oh
calmed
my
down quite a
God.
lot,
Like,
yeah.
oh, wow, it's over, now we're on a storm. We got a storm brewing out there.
It's not coming this way, right?
I
Hopefully.
know, I think they said something about Key West,
Oh, really? Yeah.
that's too close.
That's close enough, that's right.
That's too close. It's category 2 right now.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
they can't get a break on.
Well,
The
that's
keys
because
is
where they're
here.
sitting.
Yeah.
So you call everybody, hey, we're having a short meeting if you guys come on.
Vice Mayor City. I know the mayor's not too far away. Did you see Oxmill's email?
I did. I drafted a portion.
Okay.
He started and I tweaked a little, and then it came to you. And tell us if you think that's not what you were after.
Exactly. You want to sign it, he wants to sign it.
I think it's more appropriate, I thought you forward it from, or you can just send it, I mean, either way.
Okay.
Probably makes sense in draft, I think the way he drafted the, or maybe, I think it's set, it's written as if it's coming from you, so you can just copy what's there and send it along, reply to the guy's original email.
Oh, I was gonna show you if you're not sure what's what.
Did you get Mike Sanchez on the phone, or no?
We're gonna have a call tomorrow.
Okay.
I sent him a text.
Was it Mike or Mark? Mark.
Mike.
Mike.
Good, I didn't know you were that dedicated.
Mark Sanchez, I wonder.
Not, quarterback for the
Why is
New
that
York Jets.
something? There's a Mark Sanchez too, okay.
New York Jets.
Okay.
A long time ago, US, he played at USC. You know, football fan?
College, but not as much professional, but I probably know it even from the college days maybe, yeah.
That's good.
Played at USC.
Squad, counter. Sherry doesn't understand that when she gets the feedback, she immediately, she ends the stream. Whoa, I got all excited because I thought we had a
Probably do
premiere.
some 58 updates or something.
Oh, Lord.
Being weird.
I didn't even notice. Oh, no, let you know.
Are
Oh,
we-
sorry,
Are we live streaming?
yes,
We should-
sorry.
That's okay.
I was showing her how to set it up. Oh, sorry.
That's all right. I don't think we said anything.
Football talk.
Mark Sanchez.
Hi, Vice Mayor.
What you said, because you was whispering, all right. Hello.
Vice Mayor, good evening.
Good evening. I don't know, I wasn't on my radar to figure, so I'm a little on the casual side.
Well, we had talked about it the other day, and
That doesn't mean it fit my radar.
She's getting young.
that's why you got the reminder.
It didn't hit
She's
my radar.
getting young, she's getting young. You get young, you get
Evening.
reminded. Oh, I was somebody else showing me.
Austin, good to see
Yeah,
you.
good to see
you.
How are you?
Very good.
Good to see you.
How you doing?
As we got,
You
I would
okay?
tell you, this is our Vice Mayor, Sarita Johnson.
In my casuals.
Love it.
Councilmember Lisa Davis Quinn.
Nice to meet you, Jimmy.
Nice to meet you.
All right.
Austin owns Scientific Instruments, and his last name escapes me.
Capers.
Capers, I knew that.
Capers.
Wow, interesting.
Matt
That's interesting.
Walker.
Gray, Matt Gray. I don't know who Mr. Walker is, but hopefully he shows up
Maybe
on
he's on
time.
the agenda tonight. Brett,
Brett Moore.
not Walker,
Oh,
not Capers.
Moore.
We'll go with that.
Hey, if this goes right, you can call me whatever you want.
Great to have you with us.
I don't know. It's, they have 5:53.
Y'all have,
Yes, sir.
How you doing? You all right? You look like you you look like you
Just hand
kinda
it out.
tired. You don't feel good. You pressing.
I don't need one.
Do you not? Okay.
This is Mitty, our attorney.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
both-
Nice to
both-
meet you. I think I've
both-
seen whatever you have.
Okay.
You're good.
Sorry.
You're totally fine. Nice to meet you.
My room.
No, nice to meet you.
Very good, how are you? Should I put one at each spot? We expect everyone to show up?
Well, we hope.
We hope. You guys have probably done it.
Yeah, I called.
We could take one for the record.
You missed him. You missed the spot, sir. You missed the spot right on the end.
Councilman Kenwood.
There you go.
Thank you.
That's one for each one.
Yeah, I said.
See, these are smaller versions of things. Kind of see that going backwards, you'll see. What we've submitted.
You just stare, you like to trade. Once I get a 2
This was a big deal.
I used to lay in the bed and stay. Some people just do it and go.
That
I
is,
know I
should be successful, because even the palm trees that are right now exist on that.
I don't know which is my
Get
favorite.
those moved up, we can do right now, so. If I have to pull in a engineer. Yes, sir.
Well, this one had it. Looking at my car,
These are the chairs that you wear.
and the pancake. And then this one, she had put a temporary cap on it, and the crap, and the filling came out, that's when you. I don't know, that's what's. And then the insurance that I had, it just got October change, but I had, it was like you had to pay and then you paid it, like, I ain't doing that. I can go now. I got the insurance too. I said in
This is
October.
just a narrative of the questions, just to kind of go over the plans.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
So I got my appointment set today, cause I wanna get impact.
This is just a narrative, so. Brett Moore is our architect. This gentleman right here smiling at you.
Our program, we have my person up the street.
Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't look right.
We have a program coming up on the 17th of November. So I've been going crazy trying to get that together. But so that's something we were
Specific about
24, that's
all
all
the
purpose.
spots and just certain things that they have all the right in the world to be specific about. Although that only comes as a next step as far as I'm concerned. You get the blessing to be able to move forward
What are you upset?
and then provide what
I did, I had something you don't mind me wanting to this one. Cause God's will gonna be done, that's why I'm
So,
happy.
you know, if this is going to Lord, corporate restaurant, or
It's
you,
gonna make people pray for me to get it right.
so it's gonna take care of it. It's gonna be faithful.
You need to show. Yeah, but what's the time? I know. Yeah, right. Am I supposed to say, I never heard Good evening, Councilwoman.
Isn't the best manager there?
Gentlemen,
That's just the machine.
one more to me. Councilwoman Kenny Webb, Matt,
Hi, Matt.
Austin.
Easiest one, Gray, Matt Gray.
Gray.
Bulldog contract.
Austin Capers and Brett
Moore.
I was gonna say, Councilwoman Buchanan.
He's better than I am. He remembers all the names.
I just didn't do it this few months.
There were so many of them. What about Goodwill? What about Goodwill? That's just the two. Okay.
It's a headache.
Are we in training today?
Yes,
You guys want me to take notes?
sure.
First thing to do. You'll be able to handwrite, I understand my handwriting anyways, like chicken scratch.
No, you have okay handwriting.
You never seen my handwriting?
Yeah.
Please, hold on.
Yeah, I'll be back here.
Yeah, yours is bad.
I know I look, so the words right. The mayor's pulling in.
That's good to know.
Yeah, it is.
Huh?
Shorty will not be with us.
My handwriting is actually better than someone else's. Okay. Well, thank you. But then this is like my, I am focused and concentrating, but then it gets really, okay, so in Jamaica we call it join up. Here you call it scripts. So when I get like, when I'm flashing, I just do my regular notes, it's like,
That's funny.
I'll say.
Yeah, they just said it now.
yeah, read it.
You're in big trouble.
I was down here, I didn't realize it was switched to that. We're doing this, and this is so secure. Trying to get back.
He's waiting.
I'm out of my element.
Good evening, Councilwoman.
Good evening. Didn't want to disturb your conversation. Good evening, Vice Mayor.
Good to see you.
Good evening, Councilwoman Lisa Prince. Howard Powell.
You should be coming in now. Pardon for the hesitation, but we will begin in just a moment. Oh, there's the mayor.
Hello, Mayor Alberry.
How's it going? How's everybody?
Oh, we're live and praising God through it all.
Oh, good, good. Everybody, good evening, everybody. Good evening. Okay, so we're going to get started. Thank you so much, and sorry for the slight delay. So at this time, I'm sure we're all set and ready. So what we're going to do is call the special meeting of, excuse me, of November 6, 2024 into session. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Buchanan Webb.
Here.
Councilwoman Davis Quinn.
Here.
Vice Mayor Johnson.
I'm here.
And Mayor Alberry.
Here. Thank you so much. We do have a quorum. And of course, for the record, this is a special meeting, and so what we're going to do, we're going to go to administration at this point in time as we begin at 2A. If you have a copy of the agenda, feel free to follow along, and for those who may be online, the agenda is normally posted, but feel free to participate as well. Ken?
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. This is a special called meeting, and thank you for your attendance. We're going to do something a little bit different tonight, and I think most of you had the briefing. So what we have here tonight is a presentation by Scientific Instruments. They're located here at 4400 West Tiffany, just directly on the other side of the lake. And what they're doing, they're planning an expansion project. They're going to do some construction to their existing building, and it's going to be a very nice project. What we're going to do tonight, this is a presentation only. And as the attorney would probably chime in and say, there's nothing that's going to be binding on your part or on the applicant's part. But I think at the end of their presentation, after you've asked questions and they've responded to it, if it's at all possible that we could give them maybe a consensus on moving forward or not, and that way they can proceed with getting with our consultant team, kind of firming up some things that are still out there a little bit, and then possibly within a few weeks, they'll be back to do a site plan modification. So that's what you have in front of you here tonight, and whoever's going to be the spokesperson, we'll just let them come and speak. I guess that's going to be, okay.
And Mr. Mayor, as he said, just to make sure that the record is totally clear as the gentleman approaches the podium, but as Manager Metcalf said, this is a soft presentation. I think they are looking for direction from council, but as Ken said, nothing that's said on the part of the council tonight or anything that's said on the part of the prospective applicant is binding tonight, because this is not a quasi-judicial hearing. But certainly, if, you know, your discussion and your direction to them will be taken. But again, nothing is binding tonight, because this is not the formal approval of the item.
Well,
Thank you,
so much.
Mr. Mayor.
Well, thanks so much. So noted. Okay, with that, we'll give the
Good
floor
evening.
over. Good evening.
So my name is Matt Gray. I'm the general contractor of Bulldog Contracting. We're located out of Jupiter. I'll just do an introduction here. All the way at the end is our GC. This is Mike Gorman. Next is Austin Capers, who is the president of Scientific Instruments. Lastly is Brett Moore, who is our architect. I am just basically opening up. First of all, thank you for this chance this evening to kind of present our project. And we are looking for some guidance and some counsel on moving forward, but moving forward as fast as possible. The situation that we have for our client, he is looking to expand. He has a need to add not only new workers, new scientists. They are doing very incredible things, and they organically need to get a little bit bigger and be able to do some of the things that allow them to do more for all of us. So basically, that's our situation. I am going to pull Brett up here, who will be able to answer more questions regarding the plans that you're looking at. And again, thank you for your time, and I look forward to answering questions after we get into this a little bit further.
Thank you.
All right, guys. I'm Brett Moore. I'm going to be the professional record on the project. I've helped prepare these documents that you guys are looking at, so any technical questions, you're more than welcome to ask. I can help you with those. We've also prepared a series of responses to the comments that we have received, so you guys can kind of review how we're approaching those. So any questions on that, I can answer as well. In general, like Matt mentioned, we are expanding. The square footages are on the first sheet. We do have a site data table. And there is also a rendering included, so you can kind of get a feel for what the expansion is. And again, any questions with that, we are here to answer them.
Mr. Mayor, if I can chime in, I think it might be a good idea, even though they're our neighbors and they've been here forever, maybe if we could just have Austin come up and kind of introduce the business and tell a little bit about what they do over there.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, good
Can you
evening.
hear me? So yeah, my grandfather started Scientific Instruments in 1967. This location here in Mangonia Park is our third location. I think we've been here since 1988. You know, he was an aeronautical engineer, and his partner was a low-temperature physicist. And combined, they created a temperature sensor that allowed our launch vehicles to make it to the lunar surface. So our sensors were on the Saturn V rocket. They're on the Hubble telescope. Currently, you know, the business grew from a garage to Mangonia Park to now our products can be found, you know, all over the world. Deep space telescopes, like I said, liquid natural gas tanks all over the world. We're supporting quantum computing, medical applications like MRIs, and proton therapy for cancer patients. And so we're at a point to where the existing 12,000 square feet is simply not enough. You know, I started at the business after college and Army in 2013, and we had about 30 employees, and now we're at 54. So as you can imagine, we're kind of busting at the seams with regards to our square footage. So the idea here is to add vital business, you know, office space, ideally, so that the existing 12,000 square feet can be repurposed all for production. So that's what we're trying to do here. And this was my grandfather's dream, was to, you know, for me to be here, you know, many, many years later after the start of the company, to carry on his legacy on the third generation, and I'm very proud to be here. So, and we want to keep our business here in Mangonia Park. So, thank you for entertaining it.
Thank you, and we appreciate all that you do. Certainly. Okay. Righty. Any other information to be presented?
Open it up to questions, you
Okay.
know, as you peruse there, what you have.
Certainly. And I do have some questions, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to defer to the other council, of course, to see if there's any questions or comments they have. Okay, so the floor is open for any questions or comments.
None at this time.
Any council comments or questions?
Not at this time, sir.
I just have a comment. I didn't know we had such elite scientists in our immediate community. Thank you for being in Mangonia Park and putting us on the map of science. Thank you.
Yeah, we're only one of two companies in the world that specialize in exactly what we do, which is cryogenic temperature measurement. It's more broad than that, but there's only one other real competitor in the world that we do.
Marvelous, thank you.
Yes, sir. Now, what is the square, we can go through all of the information we have here, and what is the current square footage? Currently, just
over 12,000.
12,000? Okay, and you're proposing to go to, what's that?
18,000,
17? Okay. Okay, so we'll say 17.5, kind of hit it in the middle somewhere. Or just 18? 18? Okay, you say this is all production, nothing office, all,
The office is gonna be, we're gonna build space for office. The existing production space is gonna be expanded, so most of the building now is there will be production space.
Mr. Mayor, can I interrupt? Could I have maybe a spokesperson here at the podium so we're recording this and it's live streaming also, so we can catch it in there?
Yeah, I also wanted to add to that. So we've been growing organically, but we're also looking at growing via acquisition. And we are in the middle of negotiation with a small business in New Mexico about acquiring them and bringing them here. So that's also a component of this.
okay, great.
Yeah.
Those conversations been going on a while? Or?
Yes, sir. Yeah, about a year. And the owner of that company is ready to retire. He's a scientist and just been doing it too long, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
certainly. Want to do that transition before he does it. Okay, great.
Yes, sir.
All righty. Now, we do have this, and now, when did you submit your plans?
So the most recent plans that you have in front of you were actually submitted of what were they basically, oh, sorry.
No, just come to the mic if you would, please.
So the plans that you have in front of you, with guidance from Mangonia Park here, to add some things to make this meeting go a little bit more smooth or just more in-depth, I guess would be the best way to say that. We have, our original submittal would have been about 8 weeks ago, and what you have in front of you was just submitted this morning.
So about 8 weeks ago, so you've gone through a DRC?
Yes, sir.
Okay, when was that?
I don't have the date in front of me, but it would have been right about that.
About 8 weeks ago?
About two.
June 13th, actually. So I think, just to jump in, we received a set of plans initially, just kind of a rough schematic, if you will, back in March, and there were some initial conversations between Bulldog and staff, and it came to a DRC on June 13th. And since then, it's just gone back and forth a little bit with comments. It was delayed a little bit throughout the summer on our end and really picked back up in August. And for the past 3 weeks, it's been like a daily conversation. So there are some loose ends as far as our consultants go. I will tell you that utility-wise, David has blessed it because they're not adding but one toilet to it. So on water and sewer concurrency, we're good there. There's some environmental things that Van would like to see. And of course, our planner has a list of things that they would like to see. Mostly, it's just cleanup items on the plan.
But in all those comments or things that are still to be done, all part of what we have in front of us? Okay, and the comments to it?
So what you have there is a narrative from Brett that went through addressing those comments, and I think Brett could probably speak better to it, but I feel that we have addressed most of, if not all of those comments. Now, again, the purpose for this meeting is we were kind of looking to get the blessing of Mangonia Park that we can move forward. Obviously, when the approval stage comes and I can look to Austin and say, yes, your dream is something that we can get into the deeper stages and things of that nature, that's kind of where we are here. So the plans, as you all know, will go much further than what you see right there. But again, it should be enough to show, essentially we're building a rectangle on the end of a rectangle. That space, not to make it sound more complicated, it really is office space that they're going for. So just being able to house the potential people coming from the acquisition of the other business.
Okay.
That's where we are.
All righty, so question for Ken. Now, this incorporates all of our the engineer, our planner, and all of the comments that, is this a combined?
No, sir.
document?
This is planning only.
Is this planning?
The comments, like I said, David has blessed it. He'll be submitting a concurrency approval letter soon. There are a few comments pending from Van and, one or two from legal. But otherwise, this is the bulk of the comments, planning.
All righty. Now, normally in the DRC, a lot of things will be discussed and so forth. So what's going to be forthcoming to them now has been discussed in the DRC already?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay. So the applicant is aware of those items that still may need addressing when that letter comes to you?
So, part of the, I guess, complication would be historical record based upon the pre-existing building. I have been working a lot with Sherry, and she has been very helpful. I guess whether it was transition from the previous location that maybe you all were at to this one, but the plans for what was there are nowhere to be found. I was able, through some time with Sherry, going through what she did find, and then also was given some guidance and some of those plans, not complete, but from our client as well, that they did find through their archives. Regarding the comments and questions, we are aware that coming out of this meeting, we would expect that there are some cleaning up, like Ken said, or some answers that we're going to have to provide. And again, we are very excited to get to that point and to be able to go through and even through adding resources to be able to do this. There's some surveys that are going to have to go on. Ken and I spoke of some water and plumbing issues that you guys are fighting or facing here in Mangonia Park. So things of that nature, engineering that may have to conclude that this is something that is feasible. So yes, I'm prepared to whatever questions you all hand down to address and address timely. This is a timely issue because the acquisition does have a shelf life. So that's kind of the need for getting this, I don't know if we're calling this a special or emergency meeting. Hopefully not emergency because it sounds a little dramatic.
Special.
So yes, I yield to all of you, and the way that Bulldog is looking at it is we come out of this meeting addressing every possible thing that we can, starting 7 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Okay. Now, just a point of clarity. Now, you stated that you couldn't find the plans. You lost them, or what happened?
So what I was told is maybe there was a fire, or maybe there was a natural disaster, something like that. I don't know exactly where that was. That was the initial thing that I was told. I don't know much about that, so I can't really comment.
So that I'm clear, plans had been submitted here?
I mean the plans that were, yes, submitted to Mangonia to build the original structure. Those plans were what we were having very difficult time getting. So Sherry and I talked back and forth. There was a potential that this was going to be an as-built situation. The trouble that came out of not having the plans for the original build made it that we were going to have to start basically square one on determining everything for that building before we could even get into the discussion of this one. Having said that, I do have plans that I would say are somewhat 75% complete that did come from the Scientific Instruments Group, luckily, other than that. And I don't say any of this as a negative comment, anything like that. Stuff happens. Again, we're talking 1988, and however that goes. That is the only reason I bring that up, was that is the additional challenge that has been behind this project that I personally haven't had to deal with before. But again, lists and whatever it is to get to where we need to get, that's the reason for all of this. So not a blame thing, much more, explanation.
Okay, well, certainly. I say all the time, I don't complain, I'm explaining. So not a problem. Okay, we get it. Okay, so I'm going to defer to see if there's any other, I have additionals, but I'm going to defer, but I'll just go to staff at this point in time. Trying to think of how to say it. We would like to have this approved right away. Okay, unless there's something that we can state, and we can talk offline as well. But just for the record, is there anything else that's needed at this point in time for them to come before us for approval?
Are you talking, Mr. Mayor, are you
Just after
talking
this
about
point.
comment-wise,
Uh,
or?
Anything that, any other submittals, anything else necessary?
No, sir.
needed.
What'll happen from here, now that they've done a presentation, they'll go back, they'll continue to work with the consultants. The consultants will, when everything's ready, submit for your meeting packet. They'll submit an approval letter, and that's basically where we're at.
Okay. All right, and you made mention of a shelf life, and of course, again, we want you here, and we appreciate having you here. We know that this is vital for you. Of course, we have to follow procedures as well, and so there'll be some conversations after this. So what is that shelf life? I mean, if you want to divulge that information, you don't have to.
So just to comment on it, I think whenever you're talking about negotiations and acquisitions,
Just
there's a lot of
undefined.
different situations there. I would kind of yield to Austin. You want to come up here and speak to that?
Okay.
Yeah, so I had a call with this business owner last week, and, you know, he's trying to retire by the end of this year. You know, and that's something that's unrealistic for us, but at least if we know that we're gonna be able to go forward with this, I can continue my negotiations. We can get, I can, you know, figure out the funding and get an agreement in place to where, you know, eventually sometime next year, I can move the business here.
Okay, so
So-
still a few things on your side as well. You just need something firm from here.
Right, exactly.
Okay, great.
Yes, sir.
All righty, so let's see if there's any other questions or comments. Vice Mayor?
Well, I just was a little curious. Now, the property that you have, all this land was already purchased. Like you didn't have to acquire anything in order to do this expansion, right?
That's correct.
All right. Where was your parking in relation to what we see in this drawing? Was this? it
So
re-
everything that is, okay, like to the east of the building, the diagonal
Parking spots.
spaces are all existing. And then there's one row that's on the south end of the property as well. So we're adding the second row on the south, the very south end of the property.
Okay. So
Other-
then, the
yeah.
office space is going to all move into the new area that you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, my grandfather, he purchased this lot, he built the building as is because he was hopeful that he could flip-flop it, you know, and add another 12,000 square feet when needed. So that's kind of like where we are now.
Is there going to be, is there construction or remodeling needed to the original?
Yes, ma'am, yeah.
Okay, so that-
Not, minor, you know, taking down walls, putting up a couple walls, enlarging our break area, you know. If this acquisition does follow through, we'll be adding a clean room so that we can, you know, develop materials that are going to be used for all types of big science applications.
Okay. Good, I would imagine there would be some that, when you bring a new building on, you've got to upgrade the old to compare, to satisfy the continuation.
Absolutely,
of
yes.
service.
Yeah.
Good,
And
thank
that's,
you.
you know, there is a, like a basic rendering, so I want to take the building out of 1990, 1988 in terms of the exterior and the aesthetics. So I want to completely change the face of the building and make it look like it's in 2025 and make it look nice, so.
Yes, I can see for the rendering, it looks very consistent on the outside, but I just was concerned about would the inside be comparable. That's good, thank you.
No? Any other questions?
No, that's all.
Okay, any other council comments or questions? Okay, so there's no retrofitting to the existing building. You're just going to be expanding and then at some point in time doing some internal, what do you call it now? The extreme makeover people and you know, bring them in. and
Yes, sir.
Okay, and get them to come in and do the existing.
Restyling it.
Okay.
Yeah, move that bus.
Okay, so refurbishing. Okay, great. Those are the questions I have at this time. Any other council comments or questions? Okay, if not anything else, any other information from staff?
No, just so the council's aware, the reason, I think one of the comments that requested the old original approval is there's a little bit of an encroachment into the setback on the existing building, so that's why we were asking them for the original approval. Even if it is an encroachment, it would be a legal non-conforming issue, so they're not expanding it. It doesn't create a problem for them, but that's the reason for the ask on the original plans, was to confirm whether that was how it was approved or whether there was an error in construction. The plans show one dimension and it was actually built, we're talking a very minor amount, 0.2 or something on the plan. So, but that's the reason, we don't typically ask people for the original approvals. That's the reason in this case, just so the council's aware.
Okay, all righty. Okay, great. Any other questions or comments? Okay, any other information from the applicant you'd like to share?
Just thank you for having us. Thank you for considering this, and looking forward to the future here.
Okay, all righty, we appreciate it. So before we let them depart, we have the information before us. They're a business that's been here for quite some time and very beneficial to the town. From what I'm hearing, there's not a whole lot of other additional things, sort of minor things that has to be tweaked, which is all part of the process. If there's no other questions or comments considering that. And again, we can't take an official action. This is a special call meeting for a presentation. But what we can do is just kind of give a consensus, if you would, in terms of just how you feel about the project, and
I think it's
if
great.
you'd like to see it go ahead
It's a
at the
great
next meeting.
project. Thank you guys for being in our time. Yes.
Okay. Councilwoman Webb?
It's a great project, especially with everything else that we have that's going on in the town, the improvement. And then a lot of individuals are not aware that such great, scientists are over in our area. And I say once everything is in place, I'm okay.
Okay, well, great.
Yeah, come visit us sometime. I'll give you a tour. And
Yes,
I
he
was-
did say he
I
was
was
hiring.
thinking about that, I love the technology that's there. That would be great to see how that's all working. I'm sure a lot of the STEP educators would love to see and know what's going on right here in Mangonia Park as well. So it's great. I'm excited about it, and I'm glad that we're here to kind of get more information. Now we can sit up a little taller, knowing that we have in our hospice, in our community, some very fine technicians and scientists that are doing admirable work. And we appreciate this, and glad to know that you're expanding and bringing more. Now, will there be more employee opportunities with this expansion? Because I know you said you've already gone from, what was that, 30 to 54? So what is your goal to go to?
another 10 at least, probably up to 65 in the next, 18 months.
Okay, great. Great, well, you definitely need the space for that, so that's a great idea. We'll love it.
So since she's inquiring about the job, what kind of credentials does she need?
Yeah, what am I going to do? Okay, great.
Certainly. Right, and they're actually new to the party. I've known you guys a long time, and in particular, we had our overlay project going with the governor's initiative some time back. You were part of that overlay because of the nature of your business and so forth. And I would have taken them on a tour, but I thought they knew already, so, okay.
I was there when the water main broke.
Okay.
I was
Okay. 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 So the takeaway here is that you got a council member saying we're excited about it, and we'd love to see you guys continue doing what you're doing and go ahead, expand away. Yeah. Again, you'll be speaking with staff and going through the process, but at least in terms of your takeaway here, we're all excited about it.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, you're more than welcome.
Certainly.
You're more than welcome. Okay. Right, and if you like, you can sit. We have one other item, a special call meeting, but you're free. Okay.
Have a
Thank you.
blessed night.
Thanks. All righty. Okay, certainly. Okay, and you'll be speaking with Ken, who'll be arranging some things for you. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks. Okay, our next item we have, and this is item 2B, and this is a request for authorization to purchase a vehicle to be used by the Public Works Department. Ken?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council, this is kind of the same drill that we had, I believe, back in August. We had budgeted for an additional Public Works truck for this fiscal year, and these are pretty much, we did have the dealerships update their quote. But these are pretty much the same quotes that we had. We would recommend to go with Schumacher Chevrolet North Palm for the Chevrolet Colorado, which is exactly what we bought a couple of months ago. The good news is, two pieces of good news. Number one, this is well under budget. We budgeted $45,000, and it's under that. And it's also under budget what we spent a couple of months ago. So, and I believe that was right at 37. This amount is $34,365. So that would be the recommendation. You also have information from Molnax Ford and from Earl Stewart Toyota. The Ford is a Ranger, and of course the Toyota is a Tacoma. The Tacoma, the quote on that is $42,880, and the out-the-door price for the Ranger is $34,531. The recommendation would be for the Chevrolet.
Thank you so much. Anything else, Ken?
No, sir.
Okay, thanks so much. So we do have a staff recommendation that we approve the purchase of the 2024 Chevrolet Colorado for a selling price of $34,365. Questions or comments from council?
No, I so move we approve the Chevy.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I know we're talking about a water truck for watering our beautification areas.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this going to give us the capacity to do that?
So what, yes, ma'am, yes and no. So we have the tank, we've purchased the tank. We're going to have to purchase a trailer, and that's going to be about $2,500. We're going to have to purchase the trailer in order to use the tank. What we're doing right now, the landscapers that installed it, they have the capability to take our tank with our guys and water the plants a couple of times a week. So we're using the tank, but the landscapers are using it. For us to get out on our own, we need to go ahead and get a trailer to pull behind it as well. So yes and no to your question.
Okay. So is that in the works as well, the trailer purchase?
Yes, ma'am.
And this is going to be, this is hitch capacity for that?
Right, correct.
Just want to make sure. Thank you.
Okay, ready? Other council questions?
No questions. It's not
Okay,
that
hearing
short.
none.
Go ahead and approve that.
Okay, thanks so much. If there's no other council questions or comments, we do have a staff recommendation that we purchase the 2024 Chevrolet Colorado for a purchase price of $34,365. Is there a motion?
Mr.
Motion
Mayor,
is
so
made
moved.
and seconded.
I'm sorry, has been moved and seconded, and we were on the question. My apologies. Any other questions on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Buchanan Webb,
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis Quinn,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Johnson,
Yes.
and Mayor Alberry.
Yes.
Passes unanimously.
Thank you so much. Seeing that these were the only two items for our agenda for tonight, a motion, I'm sorry, Ken?
Mr. Mayor, if we could briefly, during my one-on-one with Councilmember Buchanan Webb, she brought up the idea of something for Christmas, and I sort of invited her to bring it up briefly tonight, just to gather a couple of thoughts from council members. So with the mayor's permission, if she would like to bring that up. It's nothing that we obviously would vote on or even give consensus, but just maybe a little feedback.
Okay, certainly. Now, and we are still in the sunshine, and we're still in an open meeting, although it wasn't agended.
It is a special meeting. A few comments will be fine. Obviously, as Ken said, no action because it's not an agenda item, but discussion is fine.
Okay, all right. Kalisha?
So
I'm sorry,
I had
Councilwoman
a
Webb, my
conversation with a few residents, and based on the conversations we've had, it was more like, what can we do differently for the Christmas? So a lot of people are probably not going to put up lights. So it wouldn't be like a big contest. I just figure each one of us, each subdivision, whether it be a door decoration or Christmas, who has the best display type of thing. That was just basically it. So, for example, Lisa and I are in the Bryn Mawr area. We could toss a coin. One of us take Tiffany, one of us take Bryn Mawr, and we'll figure who in Bryn Mawr should get whatever prize or gift card, whatever we decide to do, if it were to make it there, when it were to make it there. And then, of course, the mayor and vice mayor are both on the hillside. You guys could toss also. And then I forgot there was the enclave. So I'm like, okay, we have another one. But just putting together something to say, hey, we see you, we see what you're doing, just to bring a little more Christmas festivity in, a little more joy, I guess.
Okay.
When I was younger, we used to drive over from Spruce just to come over here in Bryn Mawr. And just, there used to be a long line just to
That's
see
what I was
the,
about to say.
yeah.
Mangonia
And-
Park was well known for
And
the
never thought I would
Christmas.
own a home like in the same development where I used to stand in that long line. It's like a drive-through just looking at the lights.
We had the largest Christmas tree in Palm Beach County and all the decorations that go with it.
Well,
The
except for
train and all of the,
Except for the National Enquirer. Residentially, yes.
that's in Palm Beach County?
Yeah, Boynton.
Oh, yeah. And in our portion of Palm Beach County then. But we had the moving train and all the Santa helpers and just a real entertainment. I used to come from Riviera Beach just to see it. And it was enjoyment. And it would be great to have some of that flavor, liveliness come back to Mangonia Park. I agree. I agree. So you're speaking of a competition
Yeah,
per development, or we need to identify which groups
yeah.
so that we can award the best in each community? That's a nice idea.
The best house or the best door? What's the best?
Because it's not a lot of house that do it. Last year, I think I counted about 10 homes. But I figure once you start saying it, it would like, okay, we're gonna do it. If it's even to put a light on the outside. It's that whole, hey, I'm going to be connected, bringing back that Christmas. You know, I think when COVID came, it took away most of that, and no one really decorates like they used to. But it would probably motivate them and enlighten them to say, hey, let me get this or do this. And then Black Friday coming up, so I don't know, yeah.
Okay. All righty. Just a quick question. Just to be clear, this would just be residents who are decorating their homes, and then we're just trying to, we're sort of acknowledging the most decorated house or something?
Yeah,
Okay.
one home per subdivision,
Okay, but this is resident initiated?
yeah,
We just make an announcement that the town is going to acknowledge the.
yeah.
Something.
Okay, right, and if there's a reward, not a reward, but a, what do you want to call it?
A gift.
A gift.
Gift.
Acknowledging the winners and so
Yeah.
forth. What's the proposal there? Then how does that happen? Or if you don't, if you want to bring some.
Yeah, so that's where the team effort comes in.
Okay, so if you want to,
That's where the team comes in.
so if you need to flush it out a little bit more, and then at the next meeting, and
Okay,
let us know what the thoughts are.
okay.
Okay. All righty, so with that, anything else?
I know that Ken mentioned that he has a date for the lights to go on for our town's decorations, so if we can coincide with that announcement, you know, to encourage the community to put the lights on, put the show on too. That's great.
So what we're aiming for is to get the decorations up that we have put up by, the Wednesday leading into Thanksgiving. So that would be I think that's the 25th. So we are going to take the decorations that we have, and of course, we're going to supplement that considerably and get those up. We do have, some of the Christmas banners, so those will go up as well. So we'll have at least Town Hall decorated Wednesday prior to Thanksgiving. That's the date I think you were referring to.
And on that note, and I think I made mention of it before, I would suggest that we purchase new lights, because they were very dim. And so it didn't kind of give that pop that you normally get out of the lights. So something more bright than the ones we had previously. Councilwoman Davis. I'm sorry.
And while you're purchasing the lights, don't forget about adding grass on those medias.
Oh,
It will
okay.
really make
I
it
got
beautiful.
you.
It's looking good. The few more
Yes.
shaving of the trees, I thought that wasn't gonna work, but it did.
It's supposed to be
And
shade.
add some grass on those medias and some of the other, the media right in front of the center. We could decorate that when people are pulling in and pulling out. That would be great.
All right, very good.
And
Okay.
put down
Will do.
plants and, yeah.
Well,
make
so-
Yes, it
beautiful.
is looking good out there in the meeting, that's true.
And since we don't own,
I know.
right,
gotta
suggestion would
get a
be get
permission.
some grass seeds, go inexpensive, and we got a water tank now, we just keep it
Gotta-
watered and it'll catch.
Whatever works.
Okay.
And I'm thinking what we might also want to consider, what is the date for our holiday celebration? I know it's not going to be called a gala, what's it going to be called?
It is the gala, it's the third annual holiday gala.
It is called gala? Okay.
That's what I'm calling it.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
that is Saturday, the 14th.
And it'll be here
It will be here, Town Hall.
at time.
All righty, so with that,
Doors will open at 6, and, we'll start serving food around 7.
Okay, my comment on that was that if we could announce the winner by that time, that would be
Oh,
good.
okay.
okay. All righty, so with that, well, I think we don't want to expand it too much, since it wasn't agendaed. So with that, any other ideas, suggestions, and all of that, at our next meeting, we can talk in full? Okay. All righty, so with that,
I so move.
Second?
has been properly moved and seconded that we adjourn. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. It is carried. Thanks so much. Oh, and thanks to, they said the ladies, so, right, to the ladies for coming and handling the meeting. Thank you so much. Okay.
And a happy birthday, Captain Thomas.
Oh, Captain Thomas, come back, come back, come back, come back, come back, come back.
Okay, let's sing happy birthday.
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Captain Thomas. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, I gotta get on, my wife wants to.
All right.
74 never looked so good.